I never imagined I would be telling this story to you here, but I think it is worth entertaining the readers and bringing a unique and very good testimony to hear. This era of mine also brings many life adventures. My name is Amanda, and I have always enjoyed my journey a lot. At 47 years old, I discovered that I had already experienced everything. Little did I know that something more intriguing was going to happen. Caramel-dyed hair and a laugh that Mrs. Johnson, who lives next door, can clearly hear in an armchair here in New York. A stylish guy when he looks at me, I am no one. But the sandwich he offered me made me realize how much he had something huge in store for me, and I was curious to explore. Mike has always been the type who loves surprises. At first, it was candlelit dinners or last-minute trips to the farm in the countryside. But lately, he has had a different sparkle in his eyes, as if he were keeping a secret that no longer fits inside his chest. Until one night, while we were cleaning the kitchen after dinner, he said, "Mandy, what if we try a new adventure, you? No? Like those sailing trips you'd love, with an extra sailor?" I stood there, the dish sponge dripping water on the floor. "An extra sailor?" I repeated, feeling the heat rise slightly in my flour. But I think it was the weather. He laughed. That wide laugh that I recognized so well. "It's just a suggestion. Someone who's already been on our lake, who knows our current." I understood immediately. He was talking about Jason, our friend of decades who lived in the mansion next door and spent every afternoon playing cards with us on the porch. Jason, a widower for 2 years, had always been like a brother until the day Mike decided to slowly invite him. An invitation to a barbecue, just the three of us. The fire crackled in the barbecue, and the aroma of roasting meat mixed with the salt of the river that blew in from the garden. Jason arrived with a bag, some very tempting snacks, and that easy smile that never hid anything. "Today is a day for celebration, huh?" he joked, but the silence that followed weighed more heavily than the smoke on the embers. Mike poured the yacht wine, and I noticed that he had placed 3 glasses, not the usual 2. "We need to talk," he said, holding my hand across the table, "about sailing in deeper waters." Jason didn't seem surprised. In fact, he looked at me as if he had been waiting for my answer for years. "Mandy, you know we only want you to be happy, right?" I didn't reply right away. I went to sleep thinking about the metaphor and listening to the sounds of the night crickets. The following week, Mike brought a package wrapped in brown paper. "It's a gift," he said, placing it on the bed. Inside was a long coral red dress and a note, "For the queen of our ocean." Jason showed up that night unannounced. He was wearing a floral shirt like the one he wore on boat trips and a bottle of sparkling wine. "I thought you might want a toast," he said, but his tone was softer than usual. The room was dark, except for the lamp in the corner. Mike turned on the music, an old Frank Sinatra song, and Jason asked me to dance. I could smell a light, woody cologne that was very tempting. Downstairs, there was a party going on, a few light drops dripping from the flower as if it were really raining, but it wasn't rain. It was lively. It was Mike who took the next step, positioning himself in front of me with firm hands in mine and whispering, "Let the wind take you, Mandy. Today is the day to explore what's hidden." Jason led me to the sofa, where the leather sounded like an old secret. His hands slid down my arms like gentle waves while Mike, like a navigator a little behind, traced paths with his fingers on my. It was as if 2 rivers decided to run in the same direction, merging into something greater than the sum of their parts. When Mike felt the world spin, Jason lying there was an anchor that I held tight even when the sea was rough. They took me to a place where time didn't exist, where all that mattered was the rhythm of our breathing and the sound of the wind outside. The next day, I found an envelope on the kitchen table. Inside was an old photo. Me, Mike, and Jason when we were 20, laughing on the beach. On the back, a handwritten sentence. "We were always 3, even when we were 2. The penny dropped like a drop of water in hot oil. That night wasn't an experiment. It was a return. And now, while I prepare breakfast, I hear the 2 of them on the balcony talking about exploring the holes in the boat that had opened a little. But I was almost understanding. But I still need more time. Because last night's sailing had already been very good. I decided to walk to the balcony to try to get closer to the conversation and listen a little more. The dress was one of those that invites air to enter. Jason smiled when he saw me, and I smiled back when Mike moved to the side. As I reached the balcony railing to look at the bright sky, I heard Mike talking about his idea of using my 2 holes. I smiled without paying much attention because Jason was already there, almost starting to sail again. I asked Mike to be quiet while I tried to think, but I couldn't. I was excited at that moment and I just said quietly, "Mike, learn to talk less and do more. I don't know how you're going to work on this, but I'm available." I saw a slight sign of joy confirming my ability. Jason was always smarter than Mike in these things. It was then that I leaned closer to his lips while he continued on the flower, more skillful, more experienced. We walked to the boat where they could do the job together. The front hole had already been used well the night before, but the back, one needed a certain technique because it was Jason's first time. He opened a backpack he had brought as if he already knew he would need a more natural fluid to fit the tool. The moment he put it in, I started to smile even more. I called Mike to come ahead. The only option was for him to work on the hole in the front of my little boat, and Allie continued for a long time. Mike held on tight so that Jason could only open the hole more. When they finished, sweat was running down my dress, the flower wet from the rain, and I just said to Mike, "After you showed me the joy of sailing, I want to live every day. Nothing outside, everything inside." Later, Mike had to go out to buy some things for a barbecue we were having that night. To my delight, Jason brought the sausage ahead and I ate it like there was no tomorrow. Did you like this story? So leave a comment telling us what you thought. And if you've experienced something similar, share it with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any new content. Here, we always bring life stories, reflections, and real experiences, all with great sincerity. Thank you for watching until the end and for being part of this journey. See you in the next video.